Hello, I'm John Smollett again, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why gambling is a sin. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think that ain't nothing wrong with gambling. They think that, well, it's just you can double and triple your money, and you can play on tournaments and have a good time. But there's more to it than that. It's like you're putting in something and taking a chance on winning something. It's a principle of unjust gain, really. It's like a raffle or something. You put in something that's yours to make a chance and gamble on trying to win something else or win some more. You don't. There's a lot of things about gambling, especially with poker and gambling like that, with cards and other things. There's a whole lot more to it than that. Most of the time when you see it on TV or something, it's always something friendly. It's just a little friendly game. You have a good time. But you never see one thing. You never see the true side. Basically, it's a lot of greed and covetousness and selfishness, and it'll lead to destroyed homes. It can destroy homes. Gambling can destroy homes, destroy your life. It can even get you killed. That's the side that nobody sees much. They always see the good side, so called. Now, I'm going to give you several verses. I want to go over several verses about why gambling is a sin. Now I'm going to give you, here's a verse right here on covetousness. This is Jesus talking, Luke 12:15. And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And right after that he gives a parable of the rich fool. Luke 12:16-21. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall these things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward God. Here's another one. This is another one, I believe, in covetousness. Micah 2:2. And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Basically what covetousness is, it's basically you desiring something that's not yours. The Bible also compares it and says it's idolatry. You covet it and want it, and it's like idolatry, basically. Worshipping, because when you covet something, you basically are worshiping it above God, and it is a sin. It is a serious sin in God's eyes. Again, you start coveting something, that becomes your God, and you turn away from God. And again, you can become violent and try to vend it or get it. Just think about it. Just think about this. When you covet something, it can lead you to resorting to violence, like I just said. And you see what the rich man did. He coveted his earthly treasures, and when he got more, he just built greater barns to hold it, instead of looking to treasures in heaven. And whenever you begin to covet things, whatever it is, money, land, property, it doesn't matter what it is, it'll consume you and eventually control you. And again, you can resort to violence to get it or keep it, and it becomes your God. You also it's committing idolatry, because you are worshiping the item or worshiping whatever it is that you covet more than God. And you got to remember this, though. Remember that one of those 10 Commandments is, "Thou shalt not covet." Gambling is also greed. And here's some verses on greed. Proverbs 1:16-19. For their feet run to evil, and make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, and they lay wait for their own blood. They lurk privately for their own lives. So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Proverbs 15:27. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. Proverbs 21:25-26. The desire of the slothful man killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor. He coveteth greedily all the day long, but the righteous giveth and spareth not. Isaiah 56:11. Yea, they are greedy dogs that can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. Just think about this. It talks in the context of somebody that's greedy of gain. They're in the context of shedding blood. They're in the context of killing. They're in the context of waiting to destroy somebody's life. It talks later about their wealth is gained by vanity. And it says that a man is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. And that's the truth right there. If you're greedy of gain, and if you're greedy in a poker player or somebody that gambles, is going to be a greedy person. They can never be satisfied. It tells you right here. It tells you that some of them can never be satisfied. Isaiah 56:11 right here says they're greedy dogs which can never have enough. A gambler's never satisfied with what they have. They're never going to be satisfied. They're just going to keep wanting more and more and more and more, and it's going to control them. And it can easily lead to violence. It leads to a troubled home, a broken up home, getting away from God. It could even lead to members of your family going to hell because they never repent, because they see all this covetousness and greed in you. And they're not going to take anything seriously. It'll consume you. It's easy to consume you. I myself, I'll admit it, I've played tickets, and they can be very consuming. I remember sometimes when I would just buy one or two. I don't do it anymore. I don't do that mess no more. But I did, like most anybody I have. And I remember I'd buy a few, win some, and then all of a sudden I wanted to just buy a ton of them to win, and then I would lose. It can easily take a hold of you. It's dangerous. It can take a hold of you just playing cards. You know, you start winning, man, it's fun, isn't it? Yeah, it's so fun until you start losing. It ain't fun no more. It can control you. All you want to think about is, oh, I got to play poker. I got to play a game. I got to gamble a little. I can win some money. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, it becomes your God, and it ends up destroying your house, destroying your home, controlling your life, and eventually can even lead to your death. I'll continue this in part 2.